Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to just shoot off for my break. But please enjoy the match. There'll be no commentary for this match, but the live stream will run. Yeah, hopefully this will be a good match. Enjoy. Thank you, guys.
2, table 13. Please come to the registration desk.
So, just on a timeout, you haven't had commentary for a bit. We've been a bit kind and let Pigeon have a little bit of a break. So Ashik leading Stu Williams 2-1. Just wait for them to come back. And actually, I'm going to take the time to once again thanks our sponsors. So Dynasphere Balls, new sponsor to this year, title sponsor for the next 2 seasons. Molinari Cues, Rasson Billiards, Andy Cloth, obviously as I just mentioned, Pigeon Pool Promotions, Pro9.co.uk and Onboard Sportswear. So let's take a little look over on table number 2 just quickly, and as we just see the 9 ball being put in to the top pocket, and I'm not quite sure what the scores are at the moment. So you can see Andy Lacey and Alvin Chan. I actually think that might have been a practice rack that I've just commentated on, so I'm doing very well. But a couple of scores: Ryan O'Neill 8-6 up on Rich Saunders. Mark Shepherd close with Hassan Shahid 6-5. and all the rest fairly early on in the matches. And as we go back to the main event match, Ashik Nithwani and Stu Williams, and the cue ball straighting off there. It's a pretty poor break, unfortunately, from Ashik to send the white straight in. But it is, when you play the cut breaks, it tends to be you always sort of flirt with that a little bit. So Stu Williams, a ball in hand, and nothing really. A little bit intricate now, but nothing really that difficult. Just 2 to 3 and gets on the 4 nice and gives himself a nice angle to get back down for the 6 and 7. It shouldn't be too difficult. I say that. You can see there the angle on that shot. Not really where you would want him to be. Want to be playing this 3 ball. But I do know that Stu was saying earlier today that he's having some problems with his back. So playing pool's probably not the best when you've got some back problems. He just needs a good shot here to get a nice position on the 5. Just drop on the 6 and leave yourself an angle, and should be all good. It's a nice. He struck that well. And a little flick on the 9's probably helped him a little bit. And just run this off a 1 rail back out to the blue spot, just past the blue spot. Give himself a nice angle just to drop down onto the 7. A lot of table to play with, so I'm not going to worry too much about this. Just a nice natural stroke just out to the middle of the table. It's okay. It's okay. He's got choices now. He can try and draw this off the side cushion if he wants to put a stroke on it, or he can just go forwards here off of 2 cushions. He's got, again, he can go pretty much up to the middle of the table again, and he's all right. So a lot of people like putting a stroke on that just to give it a bit more of a firmer hit, but he's absolutely plumb. Nicely out for the 8. Oh, wow. He's done all the hard work there, and he's just hit that too fat. He's just, I don't know if he's worried about the speed of the table, and he's just hit it too thick for that, but it's not really any excuse. These pockets are very tight. The outside tables are tight, but these just visibly look very, very much tighter. So 4-inch pockets maybe. And Ashik there, just really not a great deal to do to just mop these up. Just one little shot down the cushion now to extend his lead to 3 racks to 1. No, he's hit that far too fat. And that's going to bounce up and leave, ironically, a similar-ish sort of shot to the one that Stu's just missed. So just needs to take a little bit more care on this once I get the camera right. Just needs to readjust, just make sure, and he will bring this level at 2 frames a piece. Once again, just a big thank you to all of our sponsors on the tour. We wouldn't be able to run this tour without you. So back to the action, and do feel free to drop a message in the Facebook. You've not got Pidge this time, you have just got me. We gave him a break, but you can still drop a message, give me some company, and remember to like and share the page. And if you haven't already, we have a YouTube channel from this weekend, GB9 Ball Tour. Please do go on and subscribe, and you'll get notifications when we go live, and you'll be able to watch it on the telly. So we see the break there, the 1 ball gone. No problem with the points. A little bit of a tricky 2. May even elect to play a 2 over towards the top right and pot the 7 with the white, play the carom. I like that shot. He's got a good amount of control on the 2. It's going over towards that pocket anyway, and the cue ball's going to hang around that sort of top left pocket. I think the thin snip, you send in the white a long way, so that's what he's played, and he's just caught the 2 a little bit thick. If you'd have hit that thinner and actually potted the 7, the white would have come back off the top rail and bounced back up further than it is now. It's just sort of been wedged in that corner, so a little tricky cut back. It's a nice shot, and he's got a, if that slows up, it just about has. Hiya, Teresa. Yeah, we've missed being here. I must admit, it was I was very excited last week to for this weekend to come around, and Ben being the partisan Leicestershire crowd willing on Ashik Nathwani. The tricky shot here is a little bit straight on this. Might screw up and play the yeah, there you go, play the 5 in the top left. He struck that very nicely, and he's got a very good angle just to come 1 rail across the table. Leave the 6 in the middle. And he'd be playing on the grey 6 ball, so it's the first set of balls that I think I don't know if it's ever been used, but first set of balls where the 6 is grey. That's taken a little bit of getting used to from some of the players, but some really positive and nice comments. Something just putting Ashik off there whilst he was on his shot, but shouldn't be too difficult now. Chosen just to drop that in. He's left this a little bit tricky, but natural angle just to come back off the 2 rails roughly to where the cue ball is. You just kind of got to, you don't want to hit this too hard. And it looks like he's stunning it. Yeah, he's all right. He's okay. That's a nice shot. So he extends his, or gets his 1 frame advantage back. And yeah, Stu's only mistake there is just hitting the 2 a little bit too thick. Not playing the carom. It wasn't an easy shot. And then Ashik clearing up. So let me go to the current live scores. So you've got Ryan O'Neill, so Rich Saunders has pegged 1 back. It's now 8-7. Could be taking heel there. Sean Johnson extending his lead to 7-5 against Andrew John. And Andy Worthington now 6-3 up against Darren Randall. Now that's a good break. 1 ball in the middle. Don't think you might be able to just see the edge of the 2, but there's not really an attacking shot. So I think there'll be a duck coming. It's not easy. You may play this thin and play the 2 down towards the bottom rail near the Andy branding on the cushion, and try and keep the white up the top of the table. I can't see him going aggressive here. He's never going to get on the 3, so. Needs that ball to travel. And I'm not convinced he has. I think Ashik's got a shot here. I don't know whether he can see the potting angle, but it's tight by the look of it. I'm pretty certain he can see the ball. He may be able to see. He looks like he's eyeing up the potting angle there. So using the 9 as just a little bumper for the white, so the white doesn't go too far, and putting the 9 down by that sort of bottom left pocket. And he's hit the 2 too thick, so you obviously could see the potting angle. Again, I think you may well have got away with that. And even if it does go, Ashik's got to put a massive stroke on to get back down to the 3. But I'm not wholly convinced the 2 goes in that top right bag, so it may well be another safety that you see here. That was a difficult, tricky shot. Again, I'm not sure he's quite got it, but the 5 isn't in the easiest of spots. And 2 might just squeeze by. I think he'll be playing the 2 rather than the 5, though. Oh no, he has played the safety, so not convinced the 2 goes by. These pockets, as I say, 4 inches, so if you're half covering a pocket with a ball, then they're not likely to be able to squeeze in. That's a good cue ball, good object ball that Stu's played there. This is a tricky little shot now for Ashik.
The next match on table 3 is Mark Newell and Alan Morgan.
Needs a 6 ball to come to his rescue. Well, it kind of has, but I mean, there's a jump shot possibly. As I say, Stuart earlier on was saying he was having some jip with his back, but it does look like he's going airborne. He's going to get his jump cue. Of course, in the game of 9-ball pool, jump shots are allowed. You won't find those in many other cue sports which don't allow jump shots, but we're going to see one here ish. Just needs to fin snip this in. Doesn't want to hit this too thin. Send the white up to that top bag. He's actually missed the ball completely. I don't know whether he jumped over that. I'm just going to quickly watch on the replay we've got here. It might well that it's hard to see, but either way, white ended up in the pocket, and Ashik with ball in hand wins the safety battle. Hi Kelly, how are you? Actually just plotting his route at the moment, just having a little think about how best to get from the 2 to the 3. It's a little bit, he's got to move the cue ball a little bit. I think he might be, he's eyeing up the 3-5 plant, because 4 to 5 then to 6. It's easier for him if he gets rid of the 5 now, and then 4 to 6 is quite straightforward, and then it opens up the whole rack. So just a nice little controlled plant now. And then he doesn't have to do anything really with the cue ball, just bring it back a little bit. Middle of the table would be good, but he doesn't have to do too much. But he does have to pot the 4 ball. He's taken his eyes off that a little bit. He's done the hard work. And so we see that a lot on these on this Rasson table. People getting in, making a chance, and then missing a ball that normally you would expect them to pot. So Stuart with the chance now of bringing this match back to 3 racks apiece. There's a little bit too much angle on this ball, I think, to hold. So he's going to have to probably come back and forth across the table to leave the 7 in the top left pocket. No, he's hit it too thick. Hit it too thick. I assume he was playing it twice across to leave the 7 in the top left, and he's obviously hit it too thick, so the white hasn't travelled as far as it would do. So, giving that chance back to Ashik, and Ashik playing a safety shot. He's left distance. Obviously, there's no real potting opportunity on here, but he would have liked that the 6 ball, sorry, just to have stuck him behind the 9. You really want to leave someone a shot, particularly as you can play the sort of side to side. And this might be a bit of cat and mouse now until somebody gets a snooker. So Ashik probably end up playing a similar shot to the one you just saw him play. May even go for the bank here. Yeah, he's gone for the bank, and he's got away with it a bit. He's always sending the white up table though, so. But again, I think you might see Stuart play a similar sort of shot, just pushing the balls side to side, trying to use that 9 as a blocker. He's hit that too thick, and he's going to leave Ashik another chance at taking this rack. So come on guys, how are we this lovely Friday evening? Ben Moore, what have you been up to? Not playing pool, I guess. This is going to stick up over the bag. He's just tried killing the cue ball there, but this is going to stick. Just having a bit of a struggle at the moment, this, and somebody just needs to take a little bit of the initiative now and could really take this match. Someone needs to take it by the scruff. Actually, got a shot. Oh, that's a nice pot. He's always putting the side on that to send it back, so I don't know whether he'll be aggressive again or whether he's just going to send the cue ball. It looks like he's queuing up to be aggressive here. Felt like a bit of a thrash. That was a bit of a frustrated attempt at the bank. And he's left a tricky shot for Stuart. Not really much that he can do to get back on the 9. It's just almost a pot the 8 and take your medicine. He's going to cue it, but yes, this is going to sit up over the middle as well, I think. So this should absolutely be 4 racks to 2 for Ashik. As we watch him deposit the 9 in this 6th rack to extend his lead to 4 racks to 2. Stuart to break. He's lost the white a little bit. 9 ball was close. And there's a shot on the 1, but there's not really, there's not a huge amount of value for Ashik to take this.
The next match on table 6 is Ryan O'Neill and
So Teresa still at work. Hopefully not much longer. Hopefully not much longer to go for the evening. And then Ben dusting his cues off a couple of weeks ago. Well, you need to get him out more and come back. Oh, that was good. That looked like that was good, that shot to me. The one definitely moved. I wonder what the... I wonder whether there's a decision to be made there, but certainly that wasn't a foul. There wasn't a decision to be made. So another safety battle on the one. And actually one straight testing shot now. Ah, he's cued that nice. He pushed it through, nice angle on the 2. Wants to leave him, don't want to leave himself too straight on the 3 ball here, but then he's going to need to leave himself fairly straight on the 4. He doesn't want to be too straight. Might just have enough just to pinch this pocket and just screw it. Oh, he's going forwards, so he might have to just force this a little bit. Right. Shows what I know. Shows what I know. He just wants to drop this in and doesn't want the cue ball to move too far. Just trying to, a little bit bottom left, just kill the cue ball. Yeah, he's hit that well. He's hit it a little thick into the rail, but you can do that if you hit the balls into the rail and you're aiming into the rail. They do go in as long as you're not punching them in. It's a nice shot. He's gone a little bit far. He wants it to hold up. Might be playing this into a different pocket. Not the pocket he intended, I don't think. Nope, he's sticking to that bottom right bag. He's hit that very nicely. Just the cue ball, just not on a string at the moment for either player. And just can't seem to get back in prime position. But if this rolls round, that's a nice shot. One good pot. It's a little stun shot. 9 in the same pocket. Yeah, and he's done it well. And he's going to extend his lead again to 5 racks to 2.
Sure. Is it yours? Mine, yes. Yeah, yours. Yeah.
So I can tell you, Ryan O'Neill did end up winning that match. It was close. I saw it at 8-7. He obviously did end up winning that match because he's now back on. Andy Worthington on the hill against Darren Randall. And Sean Johnson in a bit of a battle against Andrew John. That's 8 racks to 7. So another close one there, as well as a 7-all on table number 13. Mark Shepherd and Hassan Shahid. So Ashik to break us off in the 8th rack. And the cue ball is okay, but he hasn't made a ball. And there is a shot on here for Stu. And if you're watching on our Facebook, on our YouTube page, don't forget to like and share the stream. We also now have an Instagram account. Look us up, and we'll be getting some behind the scenes footage on our Instagram account of the setup and the breakdown and everything that goes on off camera. So do make sure you have a look at that. And make sure you subscribe to get all the latest news from the GB9 Ball Tour. It's not the shot he was playing. Absolutely not. But Stuart needs to take some of these chances and needs to take them quite soon. He's running out of time to get back in this match. And this is a golden opportunity. A little bit of travelling at the cue ball the next 2 or 3 shots. If he can get over those and get good position on the 6 to get to the 7. He didn't want to catch that 9. He just tried missing the 9 or flicking the other side of the 9. Now he's got a long pot. He's got a nice angle, but it's a long pot. A long, thin snip on this 5. The cue ball's going to be travelling naturally back down towards the bottom right pocket. But he doesn't want to... That's a good shot. Flirted with that corner pocket a little bit, but he just caught the nib at the last second, and it's left him a bit awkward. 7 obviously doesn't go bottom right pocket. He's worried too much about that. He's had to put too much on it, and again he's given Ashik another chance. And this match is quite quickly getting away from Stu Williams. Nice angle, just stun draw this down the side of the table. Get himself nice and easy on the 9. I'd like that to be, that's okay. Just a little bit more off the rail, but he's alright, you can cue that okay. And this, for another rack, is 4th in a row to lead 6 racks to 2. Just a shout out to all of our sponsors, Dynaspheres, title sponsors for this season and next season, Molinari Cues, Rasson Billiards, Andy Cloth, Pigeon Pool Promotions, Pro9.co.uk and Onboard Sportswear. Back to the action on the main table here at the GB9, Dynaspheres GB9, Paul Medati Trophy. Now Paul Medati, very well-known snooker player back in the day, unfortunately lost his battle with cancer a few years after the inception of GB9, but he did play the first few seasons of GB9. He was a very fierce player. So, an event dedicated in his memory. Been won by a lot of worthy winners back in the years, but also when I was going through the results earlier in the week, also a lot of players whom you might not think would win a GB9 event. Now I can't remember off the top of my head who they were, but I will find out for you and I'll get back to you on that in a moment. As we see Ashik again at the table. There's a nice shot down the rail. And just business like now. He looks a bit more comfortable, does Ashik. He's been given a few chances and he's taken a couple of efforts at a few of them.
The next match is Robert
But he looks like he's about to go 7-2 in front. And he does go 7-2 in front. And Stu really has to stop the rot now. So you've got big names who have won this trophy. Your Mark Grays will your Mick Hill was won this trophy back in 2013. Shane O'Hara, it was his one and only GB9 Ball Tour victory back in 2017. Imran Majid, he's won this trophy too. Mark Gray has won this on several occasions. Usual names, but also a couple of shot wins. I think Sean Chipperfield might have won this event as well. Chris Mellin. So, a huge array of top names. And you'll see there that Stu's potted 2 balls off the break. I mean, he's made 3 points, or he's made, in the new break rule, he's made 4 points. So, GB9 introducing a new break rule, or an amended break rule at this event, where each ball potted is 1.5 points. So 2 balls down and the break is legal. Dean, it's the rack, it's the Dynaspheres rack that they're using. It comes as standard with a set of Dynasphere balls. Again, generously donated to us by title sponsors Dynaspheres, and a great set of pool balls they are to use too. Who was that against, Martin? Just out of interest. So Ashik sending the 3 off the table, and that will get put in the pocket with ball in hand. Stu just checking that. And he needs to take these. The longer you can keep your opponent off the hill, if Stu can get to 2 or 3 in a spin, Ashik back under pressure, he seems to be a lot more comfortable than he was early in the match. But Stu's let him off of a few, so that always does make you feel more comfortable. Yeah, Martin, Kev's got that ability. That doesn't surprise me, because when he's on a roll, he sort of almost bounds around the table. But he has got the ability to just not miss. He just sort of, he very confidently strides around the table and just pots the balls. And ironically, occasionally Stu Williams, same sort of glasses and same sort of, you could possibly confuse the 2 of them on if you didn't have the name Stu Williams at the bottom. It just missed another one that Kev probably wouldn't have said he would have missed, and it's not really ideal. He had a great opportunity there, did Stu. He's just taken his eye off of that a little bit. No, I think he's just going to push the 6 back up towards the top rail, try and hide the white down the bottom, maybe behind the 9. Yeah, he's played that nicely. He would have wanted the 6 to have gone a fraction further than it did, because Ashik, as you can already see, has gone through his jump cue. Now, it's not an easy jump shot, but it's an opportunity that he wouldn't have wanted to have left. But the main thing is he got the snooker. And sometimes, if a player makes this ball and swings round off of 2 rails and gets on the 7, all you can say is fair play. But ooh, and he wasn't a million miles away from that. It's a good effort. But obviously he's got away with it. He's got a jelly roll. Cheers, Martin. It's great to be back. It's great to be back. I was saying earlier in this match that I was really, really excited until the beginning of the week, and then the stress starts to sort of kicking a little bit for me, just sort of with the weight of everything and, you know, obviously packing all the equipment and all that stuff and making sure everything's ready at home beforehand. But it was made much, much easier for me this weekend by the great helpers that we had on Thursday, who came up with me on Wednesday night to stay over and help set up on Thursday. So yeah, big shout out to those guys, because you don't get the recognition, the guys behind the scenes, and there's a lot of work that goes into putting these events on. So you can't necessarily see who's coming up on table 1 just yet, but you can see all the now and next sook on when I find the link. I'll paste it in the chat for you. You see all the now and next games that are scheduled to play at the GB9 Ball Tour website. And again, we see Ashik down on the 9, and one that he's not going to miss. And there we have an 8 racks to 2 win. 6 on the spin for Ashik Nathwani. Stu Williams back to break. You can see there he's now 8 racks to 2 down. The scoreboard not quite updating just yet. It's a good break, 1 down, but he hasn't made the points. Unfortunately, Ashik with a really easy opportunity on the 2 ball, and there's no balls tied up here, so he's just got to plod his way through this rack. There's not really a great deal of difficult shots to play yet. I don't think Apples has been beaten yet, Jim. That was your job, but you unfortunately couldn't make it this weekend. So we look forward to you taking on that mantle later on in the year. Apples won. I think he was in a bit of a battle. I was playing during his second match, but I think he was in a bit of a battle with Dave Hopkin. I don't know what the final score was, but they seem to be playing quite a while. So I don't know whether it was, you know, I don't think it was a heel necessarily, but I don't think it was a real clean sweep either. And we think Ashik's come a little bit thin on the 70. We would have wanted to have been, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 inches further up the table. He might have to come back and forth across here to get back on in prime position on the 8, and he's played that nicely. He's all right, even if he's not straight on the 8, but he's hit that really nicely. He might have let to come back across the table again and play the 9 in the same pocket now. That's a good shot. And Ashik Nathwani is going to run out this match a 9-2 winner, taking 7 of the last 7 racks off Stu Williams to win the match, 9 racks to 2. And we shall be back in a little while with chief commentator Pigeon Chris Patient. So you will have that to look forward to in a little while. So some of the action from table 2. up the scores whilst that's whilst they're racking the balls. So it's Andy Lacey you saw there, just clearing up the final few balls to take that match here to 3 racks apiece. Early doors in some of these matches, although we do have a heel now on table 13 with Mark Shepherd and Hassan Shahid. A couple of matches starting out. We watch Andy Lacey breaking off at 3 racks apiece. He hasn't made a ball and he hasn't made the points.
Andy Lester and Darryl Garland, please come to the registration desk.
Yeah, there's the safety shot. It's, he wanted to hide behind the 2 and the 7, the 3 and the 7 even. He's got a good object ball, however, and he's got a little bit of distance. But Andy's got options here. That's a good pace. That's good speed. He's going to get that cue ball, I think. Yeah, he's in behind there. That's a good shot. Or maybe it isn't. It looks like he might be able to hit it. I'm pretty sure he can't pot this one. If he's left a gap there, that's criminal. Now this should be a relatively routine safety because there's a lot of ball. If you leave that cue ball there up in the top right of the table here, you've got a big block, a big wall of balls to hide behind with the cue ball and send the one down table. And he just doesn't want to leave the gap between the 3 and the 8. I don't think he has. He was a little bit worried he did, but you can hear there a little chuckle on the stream. Pretty sure he's left the jump shot valve in. He's fouled, so ball in hand to Andy Lacey. And there's a little bit of work to do around where the 3 is. It's just needs to be a bit careful, a bit precise with his positional play for the first sort of half of this rack, really. Just working out where he wants to be on the 3. Fortunately, he doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball once he's... If he can get straight-ish on the 2, he's got options of how far along the sort of middle line he wants to go. He's probably not quite straight enough. He's okay, but he probably would have wanted to have been pretty straight on this. A little bit more straight. He's kind of going to have to kill this now, and maybe as you see, play round the back of the 8. He hasn't played around the back of the 8. He's played a wonderful shot there to go back in between the gap. He's a little bit. He's got to be a bit careful on this. He wants to leave himself straight or slightly low so he can go forwards. And he has. I think he might be okay there just to push that through and play the 6 in the opposite pocket. If not, he's got to stun it off the side cushion. He's decided just to play that short side. He can just knock this in. The white will naturally go up table to leave him 7 in the top right bag. He's just got to make his way round the table. Probably play the 8 in the same pocket. He might elect to just drop this in and play the 8 in the middle, but I'd be playing this around the table, and that's exactly what he's played, and he's underhit this. And There's not really, I mean, you can split the balls. You might elect to play the double on this. Straight enough for it, and that's a good shot. And just needs to keep his concentration now to knock this 9 in for a 4 racks to 3 lead. And Mr. Telfer, I've had positive reviews on the Dynaspheres, if I'm honest. People seem to like them. They are they've gone down really well. The Dynaspheres have obviously, you know, generous enough to sponsor the tour, but they have indeed gone down really well. I think personally they play really good. It didn't take me very long. It took me a couple of racks probably to get used to the grey 6, but I did find on the previous set of balls that we were using that the colour of the 6 and the 7 used to confuse me a lot. So I'm glad they changed it, and actually it didn't take a great deal of time to get used to the 6 here. But yeah, I think I concur. They're definitely a good set of balls to use. You ask me again in the morning. I've got another match this evening, so ask me again in the morning, and my mind might have changed depending on how that one goes. So 1 ball down, 3 points made, and I think a shot of the 2, but not an aggressive one. It'll be a safety, and he's done well to miss the double kiss, and that's a good shot. You know, he may well have left an edge out here, but this isn't an easy shot at all for Andy. And actually, if he can see between the gap between the 4 and the 5, I think playing this off of the back cushion is probably the shot, and sending the 2 back down the table. He's looking at it off the side. I think if you can, I think he's got the gap between the 4 and the 5 to play it off the back cushion, because you can almost, if you can stick the white. See, that was the problem for me playing it that way. The white was always going to follow the 2, whereas if you play it off the top cushion, you've got the chance of the white sort of sticking around the area, and there's a lot of blockers. But as it happens, he's left the 2 on the side cushion. But advantage to Alvin. He's got again another sort of. He's played a good shot. Where's the cue ball? Oh wow. Played a nice bank shot, but the side just taking it. The white into the same pocket, and the rack's kind of opened up now. Really, it's not really a great deal until the early balls are fairly straightforward here. So he's come way too far back on that though. You can see little flick of the cue. He knew he'd hit that too well, but he's all right. And just needs to kill the white a little bit. Just leave a. Oh, what do I know, eh? Leave a shot where he screws it off the side cushion. But he's okay. He just comes back to halfway between where the 5 is and where the cue ball is now, really. Just use the side cushion on the 6. Just got to make sure he's got a nice angle on the 7 to get round for the 8. So personally, I'd be playing this back to the middle-ish of the table. Just make sure he's got a comfortable stance and a comfortable cueing arm, bridge hand on the table, and then swinging the white around from 7 to 8. He was trying to leave himself too straight there, I think, to go forwards, and he's just overcompensated with the pot. But again, kind of got away with it. Well, the last time I said that, Alvin got down and slapped the double in, so maybe he might go for that again. Is he going to try and trickle beyond the 8? Jim, we've actually adjusted the racks ever so slightly, so I get what you mean with removing the rack. They've kind of got the round bit on it, so I must admit I did a little bit of experimenting at home with a couple of the racks, so they're a little bit easier now, the ones that we're using this weekend to take off. But yeah, I agree with you. When we first started using them, they're very good racks. It's just getting them off the table, because they're quite wide. It's very difficult without knocking the ball. So that's something we will feed back to Dynaspheres. Obviously, you know, their priority is not the racks, it's the balls. But there's a little bit of constructive feedback there. And we have got another match coming up on table 1, which is Daryl Garland and Andy Lester. Going to be on shortly. Now I'll leave it until the end of this rack. I'll flick the stream off and then immediately back on again, but I might disappear. Chris is still on a break at the moment. Yes, Jim, that's exactly what happened. Just the round bits. But it still racks the balls fine. So, as I say, I just don't think there's enough space in the middle of the rack to get it off. And I don't know if there's a purpose to that bit. So... Andy Lacey here, just one good shot on the 7, and he's just overdone it a little bit, just needed the extra angle, wanted the extra angle to get round for the 8, and he's left a no good shot here for Alvin. Yeah, I agree, Jim. Absolutely agree. We were struggling when the first time I used it, as I say, we were struggling because the 9 always sticks around the middle. I mean, the ball's nice, and the 9 always sticks around the middle, but it was very difficult to get it off without moving it. So I didn't really want all of our referee time being taken up by people asking for balls, racks to be removed. So yeah, I just had to play around with a couple, and a couple of them I went a little bit more extreme, but. We ended up just sort of, as I say, taking the round bit off. So as I say, I am at the end of this rack, which there might still be a twist in this just yet, but I'm going to reset our stream and we're going to see Daryl Garland versus Andy Lester, who ironically is not from Leicester, even though I thought he was. So there we go. Andy Lacey takes that rack as well, and we will be back momentarily with another match on table 1 at this year's 2021 Dynaspheres GB9 Medati Trophy.